policeman at all. This is worn by a police woman. One policewoman's hat, one policeman's helmet, one policeman's cap. Now, of course, I could only wear one at a time, and I know which one I would wear. That's right, the police woman's hat. This one. See you again. Bye-bye.
You will see, hear all the stories that there will be down in the village where we've begun to find maps.
1, 2, 3
is 4, 5, 6 fun.
7, 8, 9 and 10.
To order the English programme Teacher's Notes, price £4.25, please contact your local ITV company. Alternatively, send a cheque or postal order to Schools Publications Office, Thames Television, 149 Tottenham Court Road, London W1P 9LL.
Good evening. Okay, thank you.
Foulness Island lies on the Thames estuary, 50 miles from London. The nearest large town is Southend-on-Sea, though there are smaller towns and villages nearby, such as Rochford and Great Wakering. For centuries, Foulness people lived as farmers and fisherfolk, cut off from town life. The close-knit community sustained a local accent and dialect. Nowadays, Foulness has only 200 residents and is owned by the Ministry of Defence. Increasing contact with town life has changed the way that the islanders speak, especially the younger generation.
I work in the Halifax building site in Southend. I worked there for about 2 years, do a lot of different jobs like cashiering, back office admin work and taking telephone calls.
I work in the NatWest Bank in Southend, and it's actually assisting the personal assistants of the chief manager and the high managers up in the corporate banking centre.
I actually live on an island called Foulness. It's about 10-15 miles from here.
I actually work on the island at the Environmental Test Centre for the Ministry of Defence, so I can't really say anything about what I do.
I was brought up on Foulness Island and I've always lived there, and it's a nice place to live if you like the quiet lifestyle. It's very quiet over there and you have to get used to it.
There's no locks on doors. We never lock our cars. Leave the cars unlocked in the village and you don't have to worry about it.
It's very quiet and you don't get in trouble, but there's also some disadvantages in that you can't actually get off of the island at certain times. And it's hard when you've got friends who live off the island.
There's just the one pub, which is where the younger people don't go there. They tend to go off the island, which involves having a car. You need a car on there, and you just drive into Southend.
On the island, really, there's not a lot of young people about. I mean, the age ranges from anything to the people I'd go about with, from 18 till 25.
I've lived on the island for over 24 years now. I was born on here. My parents were born on here, and their parents. So the family goes back quite a long way. A lot of the people living on here are related to me. I'm just a general farm labourer, just general farm work, basically driving tractors, looking after cattle. You have to be a jack of all trades. I mean, you've got to be a mechanic, a chippy, plumber, electrician. Yeah, it's nice sitting up in the tractor. On a nice hot day, you can get the old refrigeration on, cools you down. And sitting up that much higher, you see more wildlife, I think, what's going on around you. Even though you can't hear it, but it's so peaceful. I mean, even though we've got the gun ranges and that around us, I don't take notice of them. People come on here and they say, "Oh, what was that bang?" I say, "What bang? I didn't hear it." You just block it out.
Actually, I'm drilling vining peas today, and I've just been filling the drill up with the peas out of the bag, as you see, you know, with a forklift. We go into the field and we drill into the ground, and they'll come up, I don't know, in a month or so time.
How you getting on, mate?
Not too bad. I took that out a bit. I thought it was in there too deep.
Oh, what's it, dry?
Yeah, I was fetching several clods up there, so I took it out. I don't know what you reckon.
Might want rolling afterwards.
Yeah, it won't hurt it. I don't want it leaving long either.
No, we'll bring a roll down here later when that's dried off a little bit. What about when you stop for beaver?
Yeah, if you could come and take over for a little while I have a cup of tea.
All right, I'll do that. We might as well grease up the same time tomorrow then.
Yeah. I reckon we better change them tines as well while we're here. When we stop.
What's that behind them wheels? That's a bit hard.
Yeah, that's wearing them, and if we're in that other bit, that's a bit tighter down there, isn't it?
All right, I'll bring some down with me and I'll bring the Bowser. Well, I was born on the farm here. We used to play about on the farm as boys all the time, getting on tractors if we could, helping out any little jobs and that the father'd let us do that we weren't up to mischief in. And, well, Carlo come down from school and we'd be messing about, getting in the way.
Yeah.
But as we grew up, when you was down here, we got jobs, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, I started with your father when I was 13 in the summer holidays. Working from 7 till 9, messing about. I don't say we'd work all the time. But...
No, but we loved it, didn't we? That was fun and games for us.
And then when I was 15, I left school and come with you full time then.
I mean, it was heavy work, but because we were young, obviously we weren't strong enough to carry.
Did you ever carry a sack?
Not a corn sack, not 18 stone, no, because I wasn't built heavy enough.
No, well, I did just, you know, they were still sacks about when I started.
As a bet?
Yeah, as a bet.
Yeah. No, I carried 100 3/4. That was the best I could manage, and that nearly killed me.
There are many families on the island that are interrelated. I think if somebody was to do a census of some sort, we would discover that the majority of the families were interrelated going way back. I mean, but Cripps and Rawlings and Rippingales and that sort of name goes back right to the beginning of the records in the church, which go back to the 1600s. I have vast amount of cousins and second cousins on this island. I dread to think how many, quite honestly. It's just an interconnected community because it was so isolated years ago. People didn't go off the island. They stayed on the island and they married on the island. And that's the way the families have evolved.
How long you lived here now then, Fee?
Well, I was born here.
Was you?
And I'm not the eldest on here.
You're not the eldest.
But I'm the eldest who was born and still living here. 83 here.
83.
But I didn't have much of life when I was young.
You didn't?
No. I was with old people all the while. Well, and I like the old people now. Because they can learn you more than what these other newcomers can.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Can't they?
Yeah.
See, I've lived without Mr. and Mrs. Belton for 25 years.
Did you? Where's the home?
I left when I was 13, school, and I went to work there for 25 years. Mrs. Rip, Harry Rip, she used to come and do the washing. £5,000 they got for washing. All the women went, you know. That was the washing price. But after she left off, well, I done the washing, done the cooking. And but none more. I learned a lot off that girl. I did.
Morning, Frank.
Morning, Phil.
How are you this morning?
Oh, those my chicken passport. I still keep walking.
That's good. That's
yes,
good.
Yes, that's the main
good.
thing.
That's good. And you're still getting on with your gardening?
Yes, I still keep doing a bit.
Got some potatoes in?
20 rows down the allotment.
20 rows. Some lights, some earlies?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I've got several of my things are coming through now.
Oh, got any peas up?
No, I ain't set any.
Oh.
No, I let that other people grow that.
That's a good idea.
Well, how is it today then, Jack?
Oh, not too bad today, Leon.
You were just hoeing the old peas?
Pretty good today.
Good, good.
Yeah. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right, thanks.
That's good.
A few aches and pains, but
Oh, yeah.
we've got to moan about something, haven't we?
We all got that when we get older.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Want a good rain.
That's a fact we do.
Yeah.
Your peas look well, rain or
Yeah.
no rain,
Oh, yes,
Jack.
they look well.
They really do.
Yeah.
I wish mine looked as well, but they're a lot more earlier than what mine are.
They're coming along all right.
We've seen the old gardens wetter in a time, Jack, haven't we?
Yeah, very much so.
When one looks back over the years and, you know, goes back to the old 53 floods and the mess everything was then, Jack.
Yeah.
Foulness Island was so badly flooded that it was at first reported to have disappeared. Lives are reported to have been lost in the disaster here, and evacuation from homesteads has been carried out.
The soldiers were carrying all these old ladies, one either side, into this little roundabout, didn't they?
Yes.
And the woman next door, she got a bird or the cat and a bird.
Cat and a bird.
Cat and a bird, yeah.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
Well, nobody else did.
Well, they told us we ain't going to bring anything.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't know the cats really, was it? Because, I mean, they wouldn't know where they were over there, would they?
Well, I think
Where?
did.
Over Waken?
What took over?
No, I said they wouldn't know where they were if they
No.
I mean, they'd best to leave them here, really.
No, they didn't. Like when they come around here with that rifle, they
Oh,
kept looking like that.
yes, I mean, RSPCA did, didn't
RSPCA shot everything what moved.
Yes, they did, didn't they?
To her brothers.
Was that just sort of like safe and
Yeah,
drowning?
yeah. Well, you know, there was nobody here to look after them, feed them, you see, so instead of them suffering, the RSPCA just come in and shot.
The people of Foulness Island are very aware of their accent and dialect, and of the changes taking place in the way they speak. The younger generation particularly have come under new influences from their contact with town life. Influences which they want to identify with through their language.
My accent to me is nothing special. It's really just a South End accent, I'd say.
Very South Endy, slightly London Cockney-fied, but definitely not a country accent.
I may have become a bit more posher than I was before, but I don't really think it's changed as much as some people have.
When we were all at infant school together, we all were just new Foulness people, basically. So we all tended to be bringing up the accent of the island, but as soon as we got to 11 and we went to school at Rochford, we mixed with the Wakefield people and the Rochford people, and we just picked up their accent.
And because we was a minority at these schools from the island, I mean, there might be, what, half a dozen of us from here, and you're surrounded by 1,500 other children, you begin to get, so you're talking like them, because you're listening to them all day.
You just lose all the countryness out of it, and then you tend to think that other people on the island are talking funny and not yourself.
I was in Smith's not long back up in Southend, and the girl behind the counter, you're an Australian, aren't you? I said, Australian? Of course I'm not. I said, I ain't born 12 miles from here, you know, and this is how it is.
My accent is not as marked as some other people's. I don't know why, perhaps because I've spent some time off of the island. I was always asked when I was off the island whether I came from Australia, so there must be a bit of a drawl there. We're elongating vowels and spitting different words out differently.
Even with the name Foulness, I mean, it's Foulness to everybody else. An island person would pronounce it Foulness, but
every field had a name. There's names of fields here. There's Almush across there, ain't there, John? And then down this way you've got Foxes and Spickets is another one. Smoky 17 is another one. Hard 19. Donus 1 and 20.
I mean, if you take an old rabbit, for instance, I mean, they're called several different names. Most people on here call them stirs. Off the island they're called conies. Pheasants are called tizzies or stringies.
What we call a gateway over here is a peatway. I mean, I've never heard that anywhere else.
Oh, cinder whistler at the lodge.
A what?
Cinder whistler.
Cinder whistler.
Yes, that's what they used to call that, cinder whistlers, when your boy went to work at the farm first.
Sheening, they go sheening, don't they?
Used to.
Used to go sheening.
Oh, yes, you used to do that.
He got afraid to get out on it. He'd lie there in my hand. 12-hour rope where he'd brought up in a bag.
Yeah.
And his cage are full of flatfish.
Language plays a part in the community life of the island because we all understand one another, and some people are men or women of very few words, but they can sum up in an expression exactly what they're thinking, and because we're a community we understand what's going on in their heads.
He'd lie there in my hand. 12-hour rope where he'd brought up in a bag.
Yeah.
And his cage are full of flatfish. But one year, well, about 4 or 5 years ago now, I suppose it is, when Eric got touring nets of fish we could do. That's when we could get about, you know, and
yeah.
We got some old stingrays there and doggies. Oh, there was some good outsides there. There was, right. And we killed them, chucked them out the net, and Christy down there at church, and he went and took his out trolley down and got loads on them and brought them back home and sold them.
Did he?
Yeah. And we went back after tell you, there's still one on them laid there, you know, on the sands, but that's died, that was dead, and that stopped there. And we picked that up, me and Eric, and we had half of it just to try it to see if that didn't eat all right.
Did it?
Yes, it did.
Oh.
That's just the time of the year, mate, when they ain't no good.
Yeah.
That was then, those beautiful fish.
Well, the accent is definitely different. It's like a common farmer's type accent. You change it frequently on the phone, in the office. Everybody does, I know, but you hide it.
If we were to go to work and start talking like our grandparents did, you would be treated as a strange person in the office. You wouldn't be known for what you were. You'd be known as the one who talked funny over in the corner. And I wouldn't like that.
Some people do like the accent. We actually visited friends in Birmingham and also people on holiday.
I don't really think you can really put a comparison against any accent because they're all different.
Anyway, these Birmingham girls, they just ask us to speak all the time because it links with London as well as Southend.
I don't like the idea of having to hide the accent because I think that it's something that you're born with and you should be proud of it.
You subconsciously bring the accent out again if you're actually talking with farming people or shooting people or people of that nature.
I used to get the mickey taken out of me at school the way I spoke. An old country boy sort of attitude the other kids used to have, but I used to take much notice of them. I mean,
Yes, I had a friend of mine who you know, he thought that the Foulness accent, you know, did do him harm. So he did try and talk a bit, you know, different, sort of posh it up a bit.
To me, that's alien, you know. I think it's a complete wrong idea. If you like the place and want to live here, you shouldn't have to disguise the fact.
No.
Not at all.
I don't think it's changed us in any way in being able to speak more like people on Wakeling and that than we do on the island. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, I mean, because everything moves forward, and obviously, although we'd like the accent to stay on the island as much as possible, then there's going to be some cases where it's not going to be. I suppose it could, in the end, the accent will fizzle out because of it, and I suppose that would be a shame, but everything must move forward. You can't stand still.
Barry got the point laid on there in his harness. He got afraid to get out on it. He lay there in my harness. 12-hose rope he brought up on the bag. And he scares you full of flowers.